normalize not getting into that structure of during the week, 5 days a week, work, then weekends, I don't work. You can create a structure that works for you and that helps you accelerate in your career and in your life. Now, this is for the purpose basically of those busy professionals who keep saying, I don't have time, but I want to build a personal brand, I want to build a business on the side. I want you to work weekends. And this is a counterintuitive one, and probably one that people be like, well, I'm not going to work weekends. Why do I need to work weekends? I do need you to work weekends. If you're a busy professional and you want to build a brand, and this brand depends, internal, external, within your industry, depending on the brand you want to build, you need to work weekends. And it's not like you have to work every single weekend or whatever. The main idea here is you need to create time where you think there is no time. If you want to thrive in your career, in your life, and you want to pursue your purpose as well. Now, I know there is all the talk around work-life balance, this, that. That makes sense to me personally. But a time comes in your life where you now need to face life and determine this is what I want. And in the next 12 months and in the next 18 months, what do I need to do to invest in my life, in my career, and in my personal brand? What do I need to do? Now, at several points in my career, working outside of my normal contractual hours, I've come back to help me in particular. And I tell these to my coaches. I say to them, I said, I know you've written it there, I don't work weekends. But let me tell you, if there is a nagging task that you know that by 9 a.m. on Monday, you're going to have an important meetings with your key stakeholders. And one of the important things they will ask you is the result from that task. Please open your laptop and get it done over the weekend. This is not for your employer. This is not for your bosses. This is not for your stakeholders. This is for you. And there are sometimes you don't feel at ease if a piece of task is still outstanding. For you to be able to earn your peace back, you need to go back and get that piece of work done. So normalize not getting into that structure of during the week, 5 days a week, work, then weekends, I don't work. You can create a structure that works for you and that helps you accelerate in your career and in your life. I digress. Now, this is for the purpose basically of those busy professionals who keep saying, I don't have time, but I want to build a personal brand, I want to build a business on the side. Weekends are your office days. I can't stress this enough. Weekends are your office days. The weekend is not when you turn on the news, sit in front of a TV for hours on end, or watch your favorite show for hours on end and lie on your bed 24/7. Weekend is your office days. And how you will thrive once you leave your 9 to 5 pursuing your own dreams is you will know it now by how you spend your weekends. Because then every day will look like a weekend because there is nobody nagging you. So every day will look like a weekend. So if you have learned to masterfully waste your weekend now, you will waste it when you're no longer working with anybody that is breathing down your neck because you've not developed that self-accountability. So now is the time for you to start that. I need you to build a peerless weekend schedule. Let your calendar, you have a personal calendar, write out the things you want to do. Let's say you're building a coaching service, for instance, like the coaching service I'm building. You can break it down into various pieces. You can have the content scheduling, so creating of your content, your long form content, your short form content. You can have a time when you create your offers and you create your templates and you create your blueprints. You can also write a book. So you can say, okay, I'm going to write a page of chapter 1. I'm going to write 2 pages of chapter 2, whatever that is. Okay. So this is one of the most valuable brand building time that you have in any single week, your weekends. And in every single year, you get to have 104 weekend days for you to sit down and own your skills outside of work. So don't say you don't have time because you do. All right. So use your weekends to build valuable assets, valuable branding assets. Make courses, write books, build templates, facilitate trainings, create master classes, Ask people to attend your live event. Create vision boards. Things that will help people. Create it. So let's say you are in tech and you can solve a problem, maybe how to code or whatever, you can solve that problem. You can start creating courses. And it is as simple as, making research other than, okay, these are the key things I want to teach, but also using research tools to determine, okay, if I wanted to create a course about this, what are the key things I need to discuss? Make your own research, then add your own viewpoints to it, create it well, then do examples, record yourself, teaching it with examples, sharing your screen and showing people. Record that session and put it up. Put it up on your platforms on which you want to sell it. You can also create a small blueprint that people can also read and refer to from time to time. This is important. But you can't do that during the weekdays because you're going to work. Your weekend has to be what you need to channel back into helping you build your brand. Now, you need to also build depth. You need to, because part of your weekend is not just for you to build for others, it's also build yourself. Now, I will go slightly to even in your career. If you've just made a transition, for instance, and you're still struggling with some technicalities around the work you now do, this is the time for you to, read up more about your industry. Your bosses have said something in the meeting and you're trying to get up to speed. That is the time for you to pick up a book in your industry and read to understand it better. There is a task that needs to be done that if you do it, people will think you're a high performer. That is the time for you to do it. So you need to build depth. Same applies to your personal brand. Read books, listen to podcasts, take courses, get mentored, get coached. Weekend is that time where you get to do all of these things. Okay? Weekend is also the time that you need to build momentum. You create a lot of content. You create content, you write stuff for the purpose of the week. A lot of people say, I can't be posting, I can't make videos, I don't have time to make videos, I don't have time to write, I don't have time is just an excuse for inaction. It's a decorated procrastination tactic not to pursue your dreams. So create content, develop content ideas, create a planner for the next week so you don't miss key tasks. Sometimes you want to make a content for somebody, maybe people have reached out to you for collaboration, you want to put it on your calendar and schedule it to go out for the next week. Okay? The weekend is also time for you to build authority, for you to solve problems for others, and for you to show many people how you solve that problem for others. Okay? And it is also a time for you to showcase what you can do, the value you can bring to others, the kind of important problems you can solve, and for you to find a way to show everybody that you can do it. Personally, I don't see how else you can build a thriving personal brand. And the time is going to come when you start building your brand and you start needing help. You probably get a virtual assistant and you get people to help you with your social media content and all of that. You still need to be talking to them. The weekend is the time for you to get your weekly meetings in, for you to talk to your team, and for you to tell them your vision, and for you to continue to remind them what your vision is. Now, for me, in my case, for the past 3 years, I have been working every single weekend, except I'm sick. If I am sick, that's different. Except I am sick, I've been working every single weekend. Now, it depends on if a weekend is for me to create a course, or I'm writing a blueprint, or I'm designing something special, then that weekend can be really hectic. But if it's just a normal weekend, I'm not creating any major project, I'm not creating any major asset, then it depends. I can just create like short form videos, long form videos like this, create content, write stuff, generate content ideas, read, get mentored, get coached, and all of that. I also use the weekend as well to coach my coaches and my mentees as well. I also use the weekend to host my masterclasses for people to come get transformation into their career and go back pumped. So you want to ask me, okay, so what about rest? I've been working all week, I need to rest. Yes, you need to rest. And that is why, again, you don't necessarily need to work 8 hours on a Saturday. 2 hours on a Saturday, 3 hours on a Saturday is enough to get you on the road for your personal brand, because this is a long-term plan. All right? So build it in bits, even during the course of the week. Once you do your 7 to 8 hours work day, make sure that you're getting another 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single day. If you're getting your 7 to 8 hours of sleep, it will be difficult for you to feel like you've been eaten by a boss on a Saturday. Okay? So pay attention to this. And if it's just, impossible for you to get enough sleep over the course of the week, sleep in on Saturday, that's fine. But find some time on Saturday that you call your office hours. It can be between 5 p.m. because you spend the whole day resting and whatever. So it can be between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. on a Saturday evening for you to do something related to your brand. And it can be maybe very early in the mornings on Sunday, maybe between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. before you go to your place of worship. It can be maybe Sunday afternoon. So you can have like bulk of hours, like 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday, doing something that builds your brand. Now, what I have realized is that your mindset may be one of the things stopping you because they've taught you for years now, for some people for 30 years, for some people for 40 years, that the weekends is for sleeping, for partying, for hanging out with friends. And so we think that it has to always be like that. There is nothing wrong with sleeping, partying, and having a good time with our friends and family. But it is also important that you know that that is element of your life that you're spending away, that you can intentionally put into something that can change the trajectory of your life. Okay, so all you need is a tweak to that mindset. The weekend is anything I call it. The weekend is anything that I call it. That is what it is. Okay, now make an investment in your future. Okay, get up, moving. You know, block out pockets of hours, sit back down on your table and get that piece of work done. It is important that you do. The weekend is treasure. Treasure. In fact, when I started blocking out the time, like when I initially started and I got really serious about my personal brand, my weekends were like office work days. Like I'll work 8 straight hours on a Saturday and I'll work another 8 straight hours on a Sunday. Like I'll work deep into the night. I would work, and all of that came back to help me build a solid community and build a massive following and made me see what the opportunities are, and I've been building ever since then. So it is important that you think about this. I know you've enjoyed this video as much as I have done creating it. If you have, make sure you subscribe to this channel, like, share and comment on this video. I love to read your comments. And if you also want to work with me when it comes to like your personal branding, your career, do let me know by clicking the link in the description box and we can get this on the road. Thank you very much and I'll see you in the next one.